So some of the affirmations that I've been saying to myself when I wake up is number one, I can have everything that I need. I attract good things, good people, and a great job. I am positive that my life will work out just the way it's meant to be. I cannot control how other people treat me. I can only control how I show up in this world. Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be blow drying and curling my hair, and I decided to do a little talk video, something that I've been thinking about recently. Let's get right into it. Get my hot iron. So today I want to talk about the power of detachment. Okay, let's go there, because I feel like a lot of people need to start learning that, especially in your 20s. That is the only way for you to be empowered as a woman. Just understanding that power that you have when you're able to detach from situations, from places, from people, from things, letting go and not letting things have control over you. So let's get right into it. So why do people attach? First off, because the opposite of attach is detach. So when you're usually, you really like this person, you really like this job, and you're so grateful for the opportunity to be there, it's normal to absolutely be so attached that it becomes your identity. And it's so important for us as human beings in general to learn. This is something I'm going to teach my daughters, how to just be able to categorize things and know what is important for you as a human being and what is not important. This part is not parting. Let me get a parter. Okay. So usually the reason why you're so attached to a place, a people, a thing, is usually because you're operating from a place of lack. That's usually the reason why people are usually too attached to things. It's that you think this is the best you can possibly get out of life. This is the best job. This is the best career I've ever been in. This is the best person I have ever known. So it's normal. You just get attached and you make that your full focus, your full identity. So now let's talk about how to detach, because that's why we're here, right? I have some notes. First, you have to learn the act of being unbothered. You have to look at life positively. If anything isn't working out, not that it's like your fault, maybe you're doing something wrong that you need to fix, then absolutely fix that. But if something isn't working out, looking at it from the point of not oh my god, like why is this not working out for me? I put all my effort into this. But looking at it from the perspective of what's meant for me will never be away from me. What's meant for me will come to me. And having that positive, attractive mindset that whatever you lose, in quotes, which you're never really losing anything. If something is no longer in your life, it's not a loss. It's a blessing in disguise, because it's just exactly where you're meant to be. You're always exactly where you're meant to be. As long as you're constantly learning, constantly growing, you're exactly where you're meant to be. So when you look at life from that POV, that will help you detach from things and people. So let's say you meet this guy, you guys go on a date, you think it's going great, and you think this is absolutely the one for me. Like, you know, we just get ourselves, you know, but he hasn't asked me to be his girlfriend, but you know, but we just get each other so well. And then he ghosts you. It's normal for you to start thinking, you know, to be so broken. You're refreshing your chats, you're stalking their Instagram, and they posted and they are not replying to your text message. You're like, wait, what is going on? I thought everything was finally working out for me. Now, the power of detachment is being able to pull back the mirrors and say, you know what? I saved myself from this low tier behavior for someone that cannot communicate and will just ghost me. I have saved myself, saved my life, saved my future kids, my future marriage by this not working out. So choosing to look at things from a positive light will help you so much to detach. And then you just know, you know what? I'm still gonna try again at love, because love is meant for me and I deserve love. And I am absolutely deserving of all my desires and all the things that I have written down in my goal list for the year. I wanted to find love this year. I'm gonna put this effort that I need to do that. Same for friendships. Let's say you have this friend who has been your friend for years, and all of a sudden they're just not showing up for you in the way that you want them to. And you, because you're a good person and because you know that it's important to communicate, you bring this up and you're like, hey, I just feel like, in this hard season of my life, you've not been showing up and you've not been who I want to, how I want you to show up in my life. Because sometimes people don't know, right? So you give them the honor and you communicate that. Oop, I think I did this wrong. Oop. And if you communicate that and they're like, well, I don't know what you're talking about, like, I don't care, I have my own shit going on in my life, which is valid, then you know that you tried your best and you let it go. So that's the power that we have as human beings, the power of letting go, the power of saying, you know what, this no longer serves me, this no longer speaks to who I am as a person. I'm not gonna push it, I'm not gonna break my head over this. Or let's say, I know this has happened to a lot of people that I know, you find out that your job is laying you off. How can I look at this from a positive mindset view? Hey, I did all that I needed to do in this job. Are there things that I wish I could have done differently? Yes, it's a learning experience. It is what it is. It is gone now, and this creates the opportunity for me to be in a new environment, a new job, and take on all the things I have learned from this prior job and excel there, so it doesn't, the same cycle doesn't repeat itself. Interpreting it in that way saves you a lot of headache, stress, because when you're too attached to things, it causes so much anxiety. And as someone who has struggled with anxiety, I had to learn this the hard way, okay? Because why you're so attached and why you cannot detach from situations, because you're so obsessed with controlling how your life goes. You're so obsessed with, at this age I should be married, at this age I should be dating, at this age I should have graduated residency, at this age I want to finish med school, law school. But you have to understand that life doesn't always go the way you want. So being able to detach from this strict perfectionist goals that you've set for yourself, not saying that goals is bad. It's great to have goals. It's great to have timelines, because that motivates you, right? Ooh, this is so cute. To be the person that you want to be, because when you have this set goals and set things that you want to achieve for a specific time, it helps. But now the problem is when it doesn't work out the way you expected it to, when you become a Debbie Downer and you think, oh my God, this is a reflection of who I am. Your situation, things that happen to you are not a reflection of who you are, because life happens. There's no one that goes through life and doesn't experience some type of difficulty or things that they're going to go through personally. It's just about perspective and how you choose to look at it. So that's something I would say. Another thing is, I would say why it's important and to detach is because you don't want to reek of desperation. And I'm going to speak to my girls on this one. When you discover that, okay, I realize that the person I am currently with is not helping me show up in the best possible way that I can as a woman, and he's bringing the sides of me that I do not want to see. But instead of letting go, you're constantly trying to control their actions. You can never control how people act. You can never control their behavior towards you. Whoever they show you to be the first time, you better take it, honey. There's nothing you can do. Don't be desperate and start trying to fix it and talking and talking. It doesn't work. I had to learn this the hard way myself. Talking and talking about things, especially with a man, it's just, there's no point. Just like, just forget it. It's like, it's pointless. For two people, different people, the way I see things is never how they're gonna see it. So come into that place of acceptance so you don't reek of desperation. You know, when you reek of desperation, it shows you're not living in that detached mindset. Or, you know, going through people's phones. I used to struggle with that. I get it. You're just like, I want to know everything before it happens. But whatever is going to happen will happen. And even if you go through that phone and you see the texts and you see something, you were efficient in like, okay, now that you know, what is that going to change? You've seen it. What is that going to change? It's not going to change anything. It just shows how desperate you are to control people and how they're going to affect you. But you have to come to the understanding and realization that not everything in my life is going to be controlled. I cannot control everything. I cannot control what happens to me. Some things are within my control, but when it's negatively impacting me, I cannot control how people would treat me. I cannot control how this person chooses to be, whether they're going to be faithful or not. I cannot control that. I can only trust the process and hope that they're not going to disappoint. And if they do, the art of detachment is understanding that, okay, if they disappoint me and if they disregard me or disrespect me in any way, that is not a reflection of me. That's a reflection of them. So I do not have to tolerate that in my space. I just have to go silent and redraw, because you do not get the privileges. If you don't know how to act, you don't get the privileges of being with me if you're going to disappoint me or do things that are out of character, which is a deal breaker for me. So, you know, never let anybody, friend, foe, family, to pull you in a place that you do not want to go, especially if you've worked so hard to become a different person. Like it's gonna happen. You're gonna fall. You're gonna like mess up some days, and you're like, damn, I'm really working on being detached and focusing on myself. And you just find yourself on their Instagram, and you're like, who is he following? Who followed him just now? Who is texting? Recenter and remind yourself, whatever is going to happen will happen. It is not in my control. Even if I see that now my partner is following someone, why do I need to control that? Whatever happens is going to always work in my favor. So if they mess up, that's in my favor, because now I get to explore bigger, better opportunities, because you will always find better. Do not get this twisted, because people think this is the best I can get. That's a lack mindset. This is not the best I can get. This is not the best job I can get. I can always go higher. I can climb up the ladder. There is always more for me. So looking at things objectively really, really helps. Taking it, you know, as what it is. Like if someone shows you their true character, do not go and start explaining like, okay, like maybe they didn't mean that. That's not who they are. I just showed you who I am. It would be dumb of you to say, oh, but that's not who you really are. A person knows who they really are. So when they show you, you better believe it. You better believe it. And know that, okay, whatever you show me, here's who you really are. I'm going to look at things objectively. I'm not going to explain why you act the way you act. For friends, for family, for your boss. This is who you are, and I accept that this is who you are. I'm not going to try to explain myself. And that's something I do a lot. So I get it. Like maybe if I explain that this is not what I mean and this is not who I am, and they're going to get it. But this person just doesn't like you. No matter how much you explain, it's not going to change anything. So you have to understand that once you understand that, that is your power. because you are able to then associate with people on a very, very superficial level without taking things personally. That is the power of detachment. You're able to look at things objectively. You're able to see that, okay, this is not in my control, and you're able to move on accordingly and do what you need to do just to be in that position. Something else that I had here is that I have it in my iPad. Be content on your own. Do not force situations. This is for friendships especially. As someone who used to be a big people person, and I always have to have friends wherever I go, even at work, which was never a good option. I had to learn the hard way that I have to be okay with being by myself. I do not have to constantly be surrounded by an army of backstabbers when I can just be by myself and know that I can trust myself more than I can trust any other person. Be content on your own. Do not force any situation to happen. Do not force things. In friendships with men, never force things. The ability to detach is, I'm gonna do my part. I'm gonna love you, not just even in dating, in relationships. I'm gonna do my part as a girlfriend. I'm gonna show up for you. I'm gonna love you to the best of my abilities. And if it doesn't work out, or if we're just having irreconcilable differences and it's just becoming a toxic situation, then I have to walk away because this does not serve me. Be content with being on your own. Be able to take yourself out of a situation very quickly before it brings, because people can bring, people say that your response is your responsibility, but I believe that people can bring out the worst in you and cause you to act out of character. And we don't want that over here. We just want positivity, no negativity. I don't want to operate in the negative version of myself. So if you're going to cause that to happen, then I'm going to have to exit that situation. And you're simply not going to get that version of me that I've been showing up as with you. You're simply not going to get it. Oh, this part is really hard for me. I don't know what's going on. So that's what I would say. Something else that I had here is embrace the negative of life. Things happen. People lose their jobs all the time. You will probably lose a job once in your lifetime. Maybe not. You'll probably quit. You would probably, negative things happen. Of course, as a Christian, you always pray that this is not my portion. God forbid. The Bible says this, and, speak the word of God. But also when things happen that did not go in your favor, just embrace it and know that, this was a learning stage for me. I know now how to approach every situation in a better place. I know how to show up for myself. I know how to operate in this space, in this work environment now. And I know that, this was necessary for me to become who I need to be as a human being. This is why you use a curler, guys. This is crazy. What am I doing? Did I do up or down? I think I went this way. Oh, what is that thing? I did it the wrong way. Oh, I think it even made it more curly. Okay, and then what else do I have here? Bless me. Know yourself and know your triggers. If you have a pattern of going through your partner's phone, I say this because, I gotta speak based on what I've learned, right? I have to speak based on what I've learned, what I used to do, and no longer do by God's grace. It's like, be aware of yourself and your triggers. Know the things, okay, if I see his phone laying on the couch, I'm just gonna grab it just because I just want to know. I'm just curious. So when you see the phone, walk the other way so you're not tempted to go through people's phones. It's just like, this is what you have to do for yourself. You have to know yourself. You have to know your triggers and work accordingly. If you know that, okay, I tend to, for me personally, this is something I'm learning. I tend to text a lot and express my emotions immediately I'm feeling it. Sometimes you just have to switch off your phone. Yeah, you might be unreachable as long as you don't have any, prompt thing that's, you need to attend to. Just be like, you know what? I'm just gonna switch off my phone. Because if not, I'm gonna have my Twitter fingers and I'm gonna tell you how I really feel. So one thing I'm learning now is sometimes just switch off your phone and go to sleep. I'm not a sleeper, but this is what you have to do to not go into that part of yourself that you don't like. So know yourself, know your triggers, be very responsible for your peace of mind. Anything that's gonna drive you out of your peace, you don't want that around you. The other thing is set your limits. When it comes to family, friendships, there are things that I would absolutely not talk about. Have your boundaries. It's okay to have boundaries. As a vulnerable Nancy that I am, Mrs. Vulnerable, I don't have to share this. This is be able to detach from yourself from the expectation and responsibility that nobody placed on you. Nobody told you have to tell them all of this information. You voluntarily release that. There's no gun to your head saying, I gotta tell this woman that I just met that, oh, this happened in my life, and this. Nobody has a gun to your head. So detach from the responsibility, should I say, detach from the responsibility that you've placed on yourself to share things that nobody asked you to share. Like, it's okay to keep your private life private. Be responsible for your stresses. I already said that. Knowing what your triggers are and dealing with that accordingly. Setting limits, even with work friends. I had to learn that the hard way. Keep work at work, okay? Keep it cute, keep it classy, keep it short and sweet. Your boss doesn't need to know your future plans. They don't need to know your current plans. They don't need to know what's going on in your personal life, because trust me, they don't care. And if they can, they will use that to sabotage you. Do not fall for the idea of someone. That's so good. Do not fall for the idea of someone. When someone shows you who they are once, believe them the first time. Benefit of doubt is only applicable to people that you've known long term. People that you know their character long term. That, okay, this person will never ever do this out of a malicious intent. But if I have not known you and we just met, I will take whatever you're giving me without a benefit of doubt, because I don't know you. I don't need to give you benefit of doubt. So take people, whatever they show you the first time is who they really are. Something I would say is practice letting go. You think you cannot have more, and that's the issue. Like, practice letting go of those friendships that are not serving you well. I'm not saying be easy to just cast away friendships, because I know that's also a thing. There's a thin line between learning how to let go very easily and losing something that's good for you just because it's not comfortable in the meantime. So knowing how to establish those boundaries, that's something I can talk about in another day. There's a time where you should be letting go, and there's a time where you should be holding on and be patient. So that's something I was saying. Protect yourself from being drained by obsessing over the outcome. Stop obsessing over the outcome. Stop obsessing over the outcome. I think there's so many words. I have like a detachment affirmation that helps me just like recenter myself when I realize I've acted out of character. I am texting too much. I am obsessively calling. I am checking location. I do not need to do this. I need to calm down. There are detachment quotes that I'm going to share with you guys at the end of this video, so stay tuned. So tell yourself, I love myself too much, okay, to allow anyone to bring the worst out of me. I will not take anything personally. Whatever you do is a reflection of you, not a reflection of me. So I will not take things personally. No one can determine my life or future. My power is in my hands and God's hands. So I determine what my future looks like. So people are sometimes in toxic relationships where they speak negative over them. Nobody can determine your future aside you. Nobody can tell you that nobody's ever gonna love you like I do. Oh, there's many, honey. There is plenty bountiful people that are gonna love me more than you ever did. There's always better on the other side. So do not allow anyone to tell you they can determine your time or future. Remember, an ex told me, no one will love you, no one will ever want to marry you. Like, you think you're that? I'm like, okay. No? Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. Realize, as I said, you cannot control other people. I am 100% of a person without this person. This is for people with attachment disorders. I can exist without you. Like, I was here before you came, and I will still be here after you leave. No one can ever take that away from you. You're 100% of a person. You're 100% that babe, and act like it. Stop obsessively calling, obsessively texting. Like, they realize, people realize that you're acting like you cannot leave without them. This can happen with your best friend, your boyfriend, anybody. Husband, shit. Just, you can operate on your own. You're 100% of a person before you met these people. Focus on you. Focus on you. This will reduce your anxiety and stress. I think the biggest stresses in our life is us trying to control other people, trying to control outcome of things, work, life, situations. They make you step back and realize, I am 100% of a person. I am independent. I can operate on my own. I was brought into this world alone. Okay, I did not come, unless you're a twin, I guess. I was pushed out alone. I came out crying on my own. I'm gonna be fine. Having that mindset reduces your anxiety and stress. So you're not looking to people for validation. You're not looking to things to validate you. You're not looking to situations to improve your life, because your life is already improved just by you existing, finding your skills, finding your niche, you know. Operate from that spot of confidence, even when bad things happen to you. That's the power. That's even when you're more powerful. How you act when you're down in a situation. Do not lose yourself. Do not lose yourself. Focus, focus, focus. Things will work in your favor no matter what. So the first thing, when you wake up in the morning, if you're someone who deals with attachment disorder, if you're someone who struggles a lot with attachment, the first thing you do when you wake up and you're about to head to work is you tell yourself, number one, things will always work out in my favor. When you have this positive outlook, even if someone ghosts you, you're like, oh, you weren't meant for me. Hey, goodbye. Honey, thank you. You just saved my time and my energy. Someone works out on you, walks out on you. Hey, this is great because things are working in my favor. You just, moved yourself out of the way so I can get to my appointed reality where I'm meant to actually be, not wasting my time here. And I appreciate that. So, and this doesn't just apply to girls, guys, everybody. Operating in that positive mindset. I hope my tracks are not showing. Oh my God, it came out. I went to this African salon to get my serum and they just did rubbish. But I'm managing this hair because I ain't got time. So as I said, yeah, these are the affirmations that I use. This rejection is redirection. I got rejected by this job, by this person, but I know that it is for the best because I'm walking into where I am wanted, needed, and where I will thrive the most. Rejection is redirection. I detach myself from the expectations that others are meant to show up for me in the best way possible. I detach myself from setting expectations on myself to be vulnerable with people that do not deserve my vulnerability. I release myself from the shackles of people's opinions and questions of my self-worth. I determine my self-worth and I am confident in myself that I can attract and I will get only good things in my life. I am experiencing the joy of missing out. I will gladly miss out on experiences that are not meant for me. I resist the fear of missing out because I am where I need to be. I am exactly where I need to be. I will go exactly where I wanted and needed. I am currently in the state where my ex is. I am currently in the place where I used to know so many friends that broke my trust. But I do not need closure. I do not need to go to them to talk about how I really felt and how they really hurt me, because if they cared, I wouldn't be in this position where they're no longer in my space. I choose to let go of that need to closure. I choose to let go of the need to text the person from the past just to explain how they hurt me. If they cared enough, they would have reached out. The fact that they have not reached out means they do not care. Therefore, they do not deserve my energy and my need to find closure from them. So I let them go. And I embrace peace of mind, and I embrace the newness of life, because I will have new people around me and new people that will love me for who I am, and I wouldn't need to seek closure from. This person's journey is going well, and it looks like via social media that their life is so perfect. I will not compare my life to them because I do not see what is happening behind the scenes, just as no one sees what's behind my scenes from Instagram. So I will choose not to compare my life to them. I will choose to focus on me and what I can do to get to that goal that I want. I will not compare my journey to other people. I will not compare my success to others, because my success is different. It's special. It's attractive, and I attract good things. I am protecting my peace by not engaging in negativity. I am protecting my peace by not snooping around people's privacy. I deserve good things, and I deserve peace of mind, and I will protect everything that has access to my peace. I am content in this place that I am. I am content in who I am as a person. I do not need things, people to fill up my emptiness. I will fill my emptiness with creativity, skills, and become the best version of myself.